Hey everybody, welcome to the next edition of some video game pickups here at How to Lose in Video Games, and cherish this. This is going to be the last video from this apartment. I'm moving again at the end of next month, so the next video I cut for pickups will be in a new location, a bigger location, and another step up. See all this shit, all this. We're gonna have a bigger place, but with three of us, still gonna be a lot easier than this place. Good. This is my first apartment outside of my parents' house, but new, bigger place. So enjoy the view. Start off with I got a new piece of hardware here, so we'll get the new piece of hardware with its accompanying games that I picked up for it this month. This is a new Switch Lite. This is the special. I'm looking at the recording right now, and it's my least favorite thing about it is just that this design that they put on the back. It doesn't really show up very well. They needed to make this Zacian and Zamazenta for Sword and Shield Switch Lite. They needed to make this a little bit more pronounced back here, and it's not because of the case I have on it. I really don't like that. It's such a low amount of contrast of the colors for the design. It's a gray Switch with gray designs on the back, and the white of the Switch logo and even the legal text and stuff really pops. I wish they had done it with white or a different color. That being said, if we flip it back around to the front, the thing you actually look at, I love these colors. I think this is awesome. These pop right out from the gray. I think it's a great contrast of these colors. So you got the sword like pinkish magenta on the right, and this light blue. I love this light blue color here, and even the white shoulder button is really nice. So this is like I feel like the most bougie thing I've ever done in my life is now I have two Switches in the house. We're gonna have 4 Switches when we move in one house, but I've got mine hooked up to the TV, and now I don't really even take that one off the dock. You got the save cloud backups, and I think except for Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I think Animal Crossing and stuff, which I haven't really, been playing a whole lot lately. I haven't really touched back on Animal Crossing. There's a new summer update for it and everything. But other than those games, you get the save cloud backup, so you just make sure you download the backup from, if you were playing on the TV and you're jumping over to the Lite. Which is good for playing in bed and everything, and I cap off my days a lot of the time. I'm playing Shining Force 2, so I play a battle in Shining Force, and then I can go to bed, or I play Clubhouse games. Just relax, total unwind, playing Clubhouse games, which has been fantastic. This is like a great game to come along right now that you can play with other people, and like I said, we're going to have 4 Switches in the house. Everybody's got a Switch. One of the great features about this is that you have download play. If you just have one cartridge and multiple consoles, you can all play. You don't have to have a copy for each person. You just have to have consoles, and it makes sense for games like poker and all that. Uno, last card. But Clubhouse games itself has been just a beautiful package. They put so much care into this. I think they did a phenomenal job with it. There's a lot more There's a lot more games with more substance to them than there was in the DS original, which I've seen a little bit. I've played a little bit of it. There's some games I still don't really care about. The thing Shogi, playing chess on this, and then having like one of the only games that's not that I haven't played or really done anything with be Shogi. I'm like, yeah, but I just want to go play chess. I'd rather play chess that I actually understand a little bit. Not good at it, but I understand the rules. So just a really beautiful, and you can tell there was a lot of care put into Clubhouse games. I really recommend picking it up, especially at $40. And then the other game I picked up for the Switch this month, this is Wargroove. Like I said, I'm actually playing Shining Force 2, and I used to say a lot of the times I can't really necessarily get into a tactical RPG. That's the kind of game that I feel like I struggle with the most. But really, I've played Shining Force 1 and I really liked it. And I'm playing Shining Force 2 and I'm sticking with it and I'm doing a little bit at a time. And I feel like a really good one that really grabs me is good. And I've been talking about this game A tactical RPG that's really good, and I think I picked this up on Amazon warehouse for like $18. And it comes with a bunch of stuff too, which is really cool. Cartridge. You get a nice looking manual here, very nice. And you get a sticker sheet. This is a soundtrack code and a map. Nice little poster paper map right there. Nice stuff. It's always good to get physical extras and stuff. I'm glad I got this. Worth giving it a shot soon. So I've heard nothing but good things about this game. So anyway, so that's it for Switch. Again, really nice little Switch Lite here. I got this. I was gonna say I got this because Corey Sally, who I follow on Instagram, great guy, posts and collaborates. Not collaborates. Kind of boils down all the deals into like his Instagram stories. So I always keep an eye on what he's doing. And posted this. The GameStop had this for the $180 regular, basically Switch Lite price that they would have it for, and the shipping would have been free. So I just it's the special edition at $180. I was like, yeah, I gotta have it. I really like it. I really like the idea. And I'd only really seen pictures of it, and I'd seen pictures of the back, and it looked a lot better. It always looks better in the pictures online. I'm holding it up to the screen right now. You can't tell there's anything on the back here, but that's fine because this, I really love the colors on this. So I think it was a good purchase. I have one NeoGeo Pocket Color game. This is, I think, the first NeoGeo Pocket Color game I've gotten in like 2-3 years. The only thing that I can think that I've bought for NeoGeo Pocket Color is I may have purchased, I think I bought King of Fighters R2, and I don't remember how long ago that was, and that's the only other game that I've bought since I bought the system and got games with it. But this is Neo Turf Masters for the NeoGeo Pocket Color. Having recently played Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color, and it was awesome. Really great. And always seeing this, always wanting it, and it being a golf game for a system that I really like. I was like, I kind of went out of my way to get this because I was like, yeah, the Mario Golf thing, it'll be a game that I actually will probably play on my NeoGeo Pocket, even though I already packed up all my handhelds that aren't my Switch or my 3DS. But when we get around to it, I definitely will actually put the time in to play this because I've tried it out a bit. It's awesome. It's got the strong Mario Golf Game Boy Color vibes, and that's all I want from it. Shenmue on the Dreamcast. The type of game that I feel like is such a... I say this about tactical RPGs, and I feel like it's so hard to get into. Like, Shenmue is a game that I respect, and I think is so cool and is a landmark and just ahead of its time. And I don't know if I'll ever really put a lot of time into it, but it is a really nice copy of Shenmue that I got online for a really good price. And I have Shenmue 2, so I have Shenmue and Shenmue 2 on the original systems they came out for, because I have Shenmue 2 on Xbox. And I don't know what I'll ever do with them. But they're lovely pieces to have in the collection because they're a landmark title. I may at one point just sell each of the original copies and just pick up that 2-pack, but there's just a feeling like I'd be more likely to play them actually on the originals than I would be on PS4 or Xbox One. But if you ever want to play Shenmue, like, be aware that 2-pack exists for 1 and 2, and I think it was $30 when it launched, which is a tremendous price for what these usually are. So anyway, so that's one Dreamcast game. Really nice copy, I'm glad I have it. 3DS actually has been the thing that I've been picking up a lot of lately. It's only outnumbers PS4 by 1 this month, but it is the game system that right now everything is so crazy. Hardware is insane for one thing, and I'm glad I got the Switch Lite. When Switches come in stock anywhere, it's usually Switch Lites. It's not usually regulars. But 3DS being the sort of most recent Nintendo system and not Switch, and it's like, it had a lot of great games on it. I'm really discovering, the 3DS library and what's in there. So I'm really stocking up at this point. I'm getting 3DS games while they're, not more than $20 usually. I'm picking up a lot of those. So I have 5 right now, and I think I have more on the way too. So there's just a cool little, like, this is a really solid pick of 5 games. I'll say the one that probably people are least interested in. I have 2 Maddens this month, actually, to talk about. It's so weird to have this many Maddens. I just played fucking Madden 2000 on N64 and everything. But Madden for the 3DS. This looks like, why would you buy this? Why do you care? Madden on the 3DS is actually a launch title that I think EA put a lot of work into. You know, this would have been for like Madden 11 and when it launched, or Madden 12 maybe, when the 3DS launched. This was a launch title, and it didn't really take off on the 3DS, just like even Madden on the Vita, which was a really, really solid version, and that didn't really take off. Baseball did. Baseball did well for that first year that the Vita was out. The only amount of support it got. But this is an uncommon title for the 3DS, and it's very interesting to me. They did do a couple on, they did a couple on the Game Boy Advance. They did a couple on the DS. I think they did 05 through like 09 on the DS, or maybe even 10. But this is the only one they did for the 3DS. And it's really interesting. I want to say they ground up built this for the 3DS. I'm not 100% on that. It might have just be a really weird retooled version. But it interests me a lot to have this on the 3DS. It's such a weird, like, yeah, they thought the 3DS would do really well for sports games the way that the PSP did, and it just never took off. The Madden did not take off on the 3DS. This is a game that I felt I always wanted to pick up even when it came out, and I kept looking at it and say, that seems really, really unnecessary. This Sega Classics 3D collection for the 3DS. Like, I'm playing Shining Force right now on my Switch, and it's on the Genesis Classics collection, so there are so much more cohesive and more complete, I will say, Sega collections. Even if you look at the 360 PS3 Genesis collection that has so many Master System and arcade games, you get a really, really complete picture of Sega from 85 to 95 or so. So this has a couple different games that are arcade games, or they're not on any of those Genesis collections. But it does also have, it has like Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one, the one that they do all the time. So you look at this games list and you're like, I don't know if I need that. But then you start thinking, and Stop Skeletons from Fighting has been doing a really, really great series on every Sonic the Hedgehog 1 port. And they talked about the one that was on this one recently. And I thought that was so interesting that, like, they basically had to remake all the graphics in this game for a 3D version. I'm looking at it, I'm like, that would be really interesting, actually, to play Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the 3DS with the 3D that they worked really hard at. And then it also has Power Drift, which is like a kart racing game, an arcade game. Puyo Puyo 2, Fantasy Zone 2, which is cool. I think usually you only see Fantasy Zone 1 if they ever do anything. If they ever do anything with it. I think Fantasy Zone 1 is on the Sonic Genesis collection, the 360 PS3 one. Galaxy Force 2, which is a first party title they don't talk much about. It's a shooter, but it's not a true shoot 'em up to me, like not like full scrolling levels or anything. Altered Beast, which, like, I never really like Altered Beast that much, but worth a try in 3D. Actually, is it Fantasy Zone 2 and Fantasy Zone W2. I actually don't know what that means. There's only 9 games on here. And then Maze Walker, which is one that they never bring up, and Thunderblade, original Thunderblade. And all those games are in 3D, and that's, like, really, really cool to me. And inside here, we also have this cool sticker sheet that has, like, Master System 16-bit and the bunny logo that I'm not really familiar with, actually. A little Master System sticker and Mega Drive and stuff. Really cool stuff. So this is a nice little package here, regardless. And speaking of a really, really nice package here, Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS. This is like what I'm saying. Like, there's so much good stuff on the 3DS that is kind of, you know, it's that it was just barely last generation, and it's kind of falling out of favor. So, like, now's the time to, you know, keep an eye on it, try and pick stuff up. Metroid Samus Returns, I thought was actually kind of flop as far as Nintendo was concerned. It was such a late release for the 3DS, and it's this sort of, like, on one hand, you could see it as like a punch in the face to Metroid fans that, like, the only thing you're getting is remakes. But at the same time, like, I've seen this remake. It is a lovingly crafted remake. I mean, it's a Game Boy game that they did full new graphics, full remake, completely new for the 3DS. They did a absolutely gorgeous 3DS system to go along with this game. That it looks awesome. So yeah, I think I'm glad that I eventually picked this up. I got to finish a Metroid game at some point in my life. This might be the one that I start with. I've heard a lot of people say Metroid 2 is one of their favorites because they played it on the original Game Boy. But this package alone, I think they made the packaging look really, really nice. It's all shiny holographic glossy stuff. So it just looks awesome. I love this cover. So that's cool. Metroid Samus Returns, good stuff. Mario and Luigi Dream Team. I did just recently, just because I was looking for something to play, whatever, I started to play Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. So now I think I have, except for Color Splash, I have all of the Mario and Luigi games, which are not as beloved for me as Paper Mario, from when I played them before. I've never finished any of those Mario RPGs, but that's fine. Just adding another one to the list, Mario and Luigi Dream Team. These are always solid. These are always fun. So yeah, I've got them all now except for the Paper Jam one, which when I'm on a 3DS kick right now, I might pick that up too. And then lastly for 3DS, Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. I have this thing. I started playing the first Lords of Shadow game, I feel like 3 years ago, and I didn't really get into it because I was also I hadn't played all the God of Wars yet, and I wanted to play more God of War, so it was kind of like, God, this just feels like the God of War games, and I'd rather just play those. So, at some point, even though it's, so not Castlevania, I really need to go back and actually play these, and I do think it's cool that there are more stylized action games. It's a genre that I really like. It's just weird to have it be Castlevania, because it's just not what Castlevania is, but so now I've got all 3 Lords of Shadow games. This one that no one talks about, it's supposed to be decent. Probably the weakest of the 3, if anything, but it would be fine. Good one to grab. That's some 3DS. Expect more 3DS next month for sure. Some PS4 games here. I got 4 PS4 games. Surprisingly picked up Last of Us Part 2. I would have said on day 1, but it took until the following Tuesday to get here. I have been playing this. I have not bought a PS4 game at launch in, I think, since Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, when it came out the first time. So this was a really, really big, I don't know if I even want to buy it. I don't know if I want to buy it first day. The kicker for me buying it day 1 was thinking back to actually playing The Last of Us and playing it again on PS4 and being it is one of the stories, it is one of the actual narratives that I care about so much when I played it in video games. It's not a Nintendo game. It has so much more of a focus on story than most Nintendo games have, but I'll buy Nintendo games day 1, obviously, because it's what I care about, and they're not going to go down anyway. This, I was thinking I could wait on, except I was just I really, really don't want to get it spoiled for me. I really do want to experience this without anybody telling me beforehand what the deal is. So I'm working on it right now. I'm a couple hours into it. I'm enjoying it. It's heartbreaking, but it's the combat is familiar, and I like where Ellie is. I like the new character. I like all this stuff. It's going pretty well. Don't believe the Metacritic review bombs. I think people are way too hard on stuff. Every big game that comes out gets review bombed, and this one is no different. Take everything you see with a grain of salt, honestly. Next, I actually have 2 VR games. Let's just have the 2 VR games here at the same time. This is Doom VFR. Awesome. Might actually get me to kind of play something analogous to the Doom 2016 remake that I've played 3 or 4 levels into, but never picked up again. And then I've wanted to get it on Switch, but you cannot find that game on Switch now. It's crazy. But Doom VFR, this would be cool. I keep buying all these VR games because it's the PS4 stuff that I do want to collect. You can't get it anywhere else because it's VR. And I haven't spent a whole lot of time playing it, but maybe in the new place when there's a lot more space to do the move stuff, all that, I might actually do that a bit more. And this is Operation Warcade, so this was on sale at Best Buy. I just took a quick look. They were, getting rid of some stuff, it seemed. And this was $5, and I was like, I don't even know if I want that for $5, because you look at the cover, and it's like, oh, that obnoxious, like, trying to cash in on tough military, hunt down the terrorist stuff. But I looked at it. I took more than a quick look at the cover, and it's actually something that's really cool to me. You're basically going up to an old, like, arcade shooter that's got, like, this type of setup, and you're playing the arcade shooter. And I'm like, that's actually really cool. I would absolutely pay $5 for that. That sounds awesome. So it is a rail shooter. It's a VR rail shooter that we can do with the aim controller, which I have, and I haven't even used it yet because I bought it for Farpoint, and I haven't used it. But that'll be a cool little romp, basically. Operation Warcade. It's got such a terrible name that you don't even immediately realize, oh, it's a terrible name because it's a parody name. That's what they're getting at. And then finally for PS4, a terrible red case, I know, and everything like that, but Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. This was a game that actually I rented from Redbox for like $1.50, and I beat it in one night because I was like, I don't want to pay $40 for this new Uncharted game that one day will be $10, and lo and behold, $10. It's on the PlayStation Days of Play sale. It's $10. I paid $10 for it just so I could throw it on the shelf and have all the Uncharted games because I do love Uncharted. And this was really good. Don't get me wrong. It's just really short, and it's a side story. I just kind of wanted to play it, get it out of my system, and I knew I'd pick it up later. So if $10 for a, basically what would be a $40 Uncharted game to a $60 full one, that's what it is. That's what you get out of it. It's still awesome. It's still probably better than the first one, too, as far as how it's aged. This is weird. It's another Madden. This is actually Madden 20th anniversary. I think I paid like $6 for this, which is about what it goes for anyway. But I paid like $6 for it. It's got this big box, and I now own actually 2 copies of Madden 2009 that I've bought in the past like 4 months. Both of them, because I got that Spanish edition sealed one for the 360. And now if I ever want to play Madden 09 specifically, I don't even have to open that. But I've got that on my shelf, and now I've got the Madden Big Box Anniversary Collector's Edition. The reason I bought this was actually not because it's Madden 09 in a big box. It's got 2 games in it. And it's not even that I really, really want to play the other one, but it's just kind of a game I thought was cool and a game I'd like to have on my shelf if it wasn't kind of rare. It also has NFL Head Coach 09 in it. So you would get both games. You get Madden 09 on one disc, and you get a disc for Head Coach 09. And specifically, Head Coach 09 is really funny to me. If you watch SB Nation, The Fumble Dimension, they did a whole... they did a series... there's just 2 parts. But they did a series with Head Coach 09 specifically, where they replayed the entire Detroit Lions 07, I think it was 07 or 08, their winless season. There's another part to this. Their entire winless season, only running one play. And they did actually manage to win a couple games, not to spoil it for you or anything, but it was a great series, and I thought it was awesome, and just sparked that into me. It was like, yeah, I would like to own Head Coach 09, but it's a little bit of an uncommon game. But if you just buy Madden 09 Collector's Edition, you just get one. You get a copy of 09, Head Coach 09. And that's why I got that. If weird, actually, I'll bring these 2 up at once. I actually bought 2 bowling games this month without even realizing. Oh, I bought literally 2 bowling games. So starting with Brunswick here, Brunswick Pro Bowling, one of the last few Wii U games that I could reasonably see enjoying. I don't have the Barbie games, I don't have Hello Kitty Cruisers, I don't have the Crudes, anything like that. I'm missing a couple Wii U games. I don't have a full set, but I don't want a full set. I want anything that even possibly I could enjoy. So I picked up Brunswick, I think, for like $11 or something like that. And it's weird because this used to actually be worth money because I think Wii Sports Club, which I did actually get, which is awesome. I'm glad I have Wii Sports Club. I think this was worth a little bit of money because people who wanted to get Wii Sports because they wanted to get bowling couldn't get Wii Sports, a new bowling game basically. And so people would be like, "Oh, there's a bowling game, I'll buy that one." And so this was just for a budgety game, just like was a little bit harder to find, I think, for a while. It doesn't really matter anymore though. And then Strike Force Bowling, which again, total budget title. At work we must have 100 copies of this on PS2, but we don't have any copies of this on GameCube. And I look at it, I'm like, well, for GameCube, a semi-interesting bowling game that I paid like $5 for. Yeah, I'll take that. Again, I'll take pretty much anything GameCube at this point too. I love GameCube. Digimon World 4, which I think popped up on Declutter for like $13, and because my girlfriend likes it, I said, hey, do you want this? It's $13. I'll just grab it. And they said, yeah. So I got Digimon World 4 now. On my PlayStation Classic, which I had the little True Blue modded thing, they've spent a good amount of time playing Digimon World, so Digimon World 4, add that. And then finally, this is the last game I have for today, Rock Band Metal Track Pack for PS2. It's not like I'm going to get these games on my PS4, Rock Band 4. You can't export them or anything like that at this point. Like if I had the PS3 one, it's not like I'd be able to export it because they don't have the export codes up anymore. But I'd always seen this, and even like I think 12 years ago or so when I had it, and I was like still really into playing it on what I had from my PS2 setup, and I would buy the track packs. I had just regular track pack, Volume 1 and 2 when I was a kid, and they had a good bunch of songs on them, even though there was only 20 songs on them. And I'd always look at this. I would always look at this track listing, and I'll be honest with you. Rock Band Metal Track Pack does not have a great track listing. For example, there is Queens of the Stone Age 3s and 7s, which is not a bad song. I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's just like it doesn't fit in here. And then other reasons I know for sure I wouldn't buy it when I was a kid. I think I paid like $4 for this online. I was like, yeah, fine. I'll just like 20 songs that you can throw in at one point and just play them all. It does have Thrasher by Evil, which is one song that I've always had on my wish list on Rock Band 4, and I never pull the trigger on when I'm buying songs. I'll go on Rock Band 4 and I'll spend like $50 on songs, but I never feel like anyone else is going to want to play Thrasher by Evil, so I never actually buy it. Some actual songs that I do like on here, Screaming for Vengeance by Judas Priest is on this. Closer by Lacuna Coil is a song that I think is pretty good, but I think it's on Rock Band 2 or something, unless I'm thinking of a different Lacuna Coil song. But not one that I've thought was going to be a great Rock Band song. Killed by Death by Motorhead, that's actually a good one. Also, Hair of the Dog by Nazareth, again, that's really more of a classic rock song, not something I would be really into if I was making a metal specific track pack. So like as far as ones that I really... Oh, Bulls on Parade. I never wanted to get Bulls on Parade because I had Guitar Hero 3. But Bulls on Parade is good. Waking the Demon by Bullet for My Valentine, which I think I actually bought my recent round of buying songs for Rock Band because it was $1. But it's on here too. Look at that. So yeah, Rock Band Metal Track Pack is like the only Rock Band anything actually I have for the PS2. I have all my Guitar Heroes for PS2 that I can get, but I only have Rock Band 4 and 2 on PS3 and PS4, and so I have one thing on PS2 now for Rock Band. There's no reason to buy anything else. Anyway, though, that's it for this month. I'll see you next month if I pick up anything while I'm taking care of all these moving costs and everything, but we'll see. I have stuff on order, so there will be something. Cool. I have to play... Hiccup. Battletank's Global Assault is coming up next for the N64 quest, which I will be getting to sometime this afternoon. I'll be on that shortly. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Thank you.